Hello students, I am Mrs. Divya dealing with chapter 7 evolution, and this is the 18th video. Previously we had discussed about the pre-account of evolution, that is the evolution of simple forms to complex organisms. Then we had started with the origin and evolution of man, right? So we have completed two stages, that is the ape stage and the ape men stage, and we had started with the primitive men, or who can also be called as the prehistoric man. So let us continue with the same. Primitive men were of three different species were observed, who were considered to be the first true men, because from here we could see that the human or men like characters started more in the ancestors. Okay, so one was the Homo habilis, which was also called as the handyman, then Homo erectus, also called as Java man, then Homo neanderthalensis, also called as the Neanderthal man. So first one is Homo habilis. See how they look like. I think you can remember of any Kenyan cricketer, right? So here, this Homo habilis was actually first discovered by scientist LSB Leakey and his wife Mary Leakey, okay, in 1964. They discovered this fossils from in the Pleistocene. They were said to be found in the Pleistocene epoch, but the fossils were also actually found in a small province of Tanzania, that is Olduvai Gorge, that is mainly in Africa. Okay, in Tanzania, Africa. So as I told you, they were said to be present starting from the Pliocene, but were mainly in the Pleistocene epoch around 2 million years ago. So characteristics of this, if you see, they are considered to be the first hominids. What is hominids, children? Hominids, that is the humans, are placed under order Hominidae, right? So that is the primates, okay, placed under hominidae. So they are commonly called as the hominids, also called as handyman, because here habilis means mentally able or skillful, and they are called as the handyman because they were the first tool makers, and they used tools, children, of mainly stones. Okay, so that is why they are also called as the handyman, as many heaps of many such tools were found along with their fossils. That is sharpened stones were there. So this all indicates that this Homo habilis was capable of making tools. So they were also called as tool maker. And Homo habilis means, as I told you, who was skillful. So they were observed to be making tools, okay, and they lived in the open grasslands. They moved erect, right? And another important thing is they did not eat meat. This also, children, you have to remember in the exams. Generally they give any of the species and they ask you to write the food of them, the brain capacity of them also. Okay, so what is the food of Homo habilis? If it is asked, they did not eat meat. Okay, they were only dependent on plant products. Structurally, they showed the dental formula almost similar to the modern man. That is, they had smaller molars like the humans, and the cranial capacity was 650 to 800 cc. So see, there was increasing in the brain capacity. Previously, the Australopithecus you had seen, the brain capacity was 500 cc, students. So this increase in the brain capacity showed an advancement in the characters. Okay. Then next, coming to the Homo erectus. So as the name says, they are considered to be the erect man. They are also commonly called as erect man, and they are also considered as the first true men. And most of them were actually found, the fossils were found in Java and Peking. Java is in Indonesia and Peking is in China. Okay, so the fossils were obtained mainly in these two places. So let us see what are the characters of this Java man. Why was he called as the Java man, right? So the Homo erectus fossils were obtained in Java, as I told you, on the banks of the river, a Solo river in Java, and it was actually discovered by Eugene Du Bois, a scientist, in 1891. So he discovered the fossils of them in an island that is in Java, that is, and they are said to be have been present in the Pleistocene epoch. Scientifically, they were also called as Pithecanthropus erectus. This is not given in your textbook, don't worry about that. They have mentioned about the Java man, but okay. So because this name is given here Pithecanthropus, because that means ape man. Pithecanthropus means ape man. So here, as I told you, they were also considered to be the first true men. They showed both ape and man-like characters. This Pithecanthropus erectus was named as Homo erectus later on by another scientist, Mayer, in 1950. So let us see the structure of this Java man. So he lived in the Pleistocene epoch around 5 lakh million years ago. Then the cranial capacity, see here, it is again increased. So it increased to 900 cc in these animals. They were 5 feet and they walked erect, almost similar to the present day humans. That is why he was called as the Homo erectus. See the facial structure of this man. They have protruding, prognathus means protruding jaws. They had huge teeth, and also the chin is absent here. See the eyebrow ridge is present, right? So they had protruding eyebrow ridges. So when you see the structure, does he appear more ape-like or human-like? The present day human? No. He appears more like the apes, right? So that is why the Java man was called as the Java ape man. Okay, he was almost similar to the apes. Then why are we placing him in the advanced primitive men? That you may ask me. A question might arise in your mind. If he is appearing like the apes, then why is he placed in the primitive men stage? He could have been placed in the ape men stage, right? Why, children? Because of his cranial capacity. He had more cranial capacity than the previous organisms, species what we have studied, right? So that means though facially he was not still developed, his brain capacity had increased. That means he was more skillful than those primitive apes. Okay, so that thing you have to remember that. Then the next one, as I told you, in Peking in China, the fossils obtained were called as the Peking man. Okay, they were obtained in the caves near the city of Peking, that is, it is present in Beijing. Formerly Beijing was known as Peking. Okay, so it is actually in the present day Beijing, right? And it was named as Sinanthropus initially. Okay, it was another scientist who named them as Sinanthropus pekinensis. Then later on Mayer named it as Homo erectus. Now see this Peking man and the Java man. See the similarities between the two. Both are placed under Homo erectus, right? Why? Because of the close resemblances that they have. Almost they appear to be similar in nature. That is why, as I told you, they are known as Pithecanthropus pekinensis. They are also called as Pithecanthropus here, right? Because they were similar to the Java man in their structure. They also lived in the Pleistocene epoch around 5 lakh million years ago, and the cranial capacity, but here children, See the difference? The cranial capacity of them was much more increased. It was up to 1200 cc, if 850 to 1200 cc. That means what? They were still more skilled than the Java man. Okay. Then their facial structure, if you see, it was almost similar to the Java man itself. That is, their protruding eyebrows, the chinless face, slanting forehead they had. There was no chin. Okay, almost similar to Java man. So next one, let us see. Who is this man? Homo neanderthalensis. Remember the names, children. Repeat the names many a times, so that you become acquainted with the names. Okay, first if you learn to spell them properly, then only you can write those names. Don't think that the names are so difficult how to remember in the exams. If you have remember in your childhood days, the teacher would make you to recite the poems 3 to 5 times in the schools, write the dictation of words 5 times. In the same way, here also do the homework. That is, those complicated words, see that you write and practice them, so you become acquainted with those words. Okay. So here the Homo neanderthalensis is a scientific name, commonly also called as the Neanderthal man, because he was found in the Neanderthal Valley, that is in Germany. Okay, it was found by the scientist Fulrott in 1856. He had collected those fossils. Later on, many other fossils were obtained in various different countries by other different paleontologists. See how he appears. Almost similar to the modern man, right? So he also lived during the Pleistocene epoch, that is almost at the end of the Pleistocene epoch, around 1 lakh to 40,000 years back. That is almost nearing towards the modern day man. So later on, as I told you, initially was found in Germany. Later on, he was found in other countries also, like Europe, Asia and North American continents. He is considered to be the advanced prehistoric man. The initial primitive prehistoric man was the Homo habilis and Homo erectus. This man is the advanced prehistoric man. Okay, and another important thing, children, is he was a cave dweller. They were legendary cave dwellers. They have been portrayed as having heavy brow ridges and humped back also they had. Then look at the cranial capacity of these, 1400 cc. That means what? Their skills also had increased. Structurally, see, they also didn't have much of the chin, right? And also protruding eyebrow ridges they had, but a low slanting forehead and chinless face. So almost similar like the apes only, but they were heavily built. Okay, they were short but heavily built. Then the fossils that were obtained, that is, the fossils were obtained of the skull, thick skull they had, and the thigh bones were obtained. Okay, but as I told you, the cranial capacity had increased. They were more intelligent, so they started to construct tools from different items. Okay, and they were also adapted to cold environment as well. They were not only skilled hunters, children, but they were also very good predators. So that is why, see, they prepared different types of tools for hunting purpose. They were good predators. Okay, so this this specialization, it did not occur in the other hominids. So they were what? Omnivorous. What did they eat on? They were both, they ate plant products as well as meat. Okay, they also started to prepare cloths, that is, as they hunted the animals, so that leather were used. Another important development we can see here is they buried their dead bodies along with the tools that the person used. They performed certain rituals. Okay, they performed the ceremonies and they buried them along with flowers and the tools. Okay, so it is thought that they might have developed their own religions. Then slowly they also started using fire, right? So they started living in the natural caves. As I told you, they were cave dwellers and used fire there. They heated up with the fire. Next, coming to the modern man. So it is considered that this Neanderthal man actually did not evolve into the Homo sapiens, but before that there was another one. So this modern men, this stage includes both existing men as well as extinct men, that is previous one. Okay, the next previous one of this modern man. He was called as the Cro-Magnon man. The scientific name is Homo sapiens fossilis because they are the fossils of the present day human. They are actually extinct now. We don't have these men present today. So today's modern man, you can see Homo sapiens sapiens, he is called as. Okay, so see the difference between the two. Homo sapiens fossilis, commonly called as what? The Cro-Magnon man. So he was found actually in the rocks of France, that is the fossils were obtained there. He is the extinct modern man, and it was at first discovered by scientist MacGregor. It is said that they were present around 34,000 years ago in the Holocene epoch. Okay, so they are regarded as the most recent ancestors of today's men. Then later on, after in France, those fossils were also obtained in different other parts of the world, such as in Czechoslovakia, that is in Africa, and in different parts of France also. See the structure of this man. So as I told you, he was present somewhere around 35,000 years ago, 34 to 35. That is, it is actually thought that he originated 50,000 years ago, but he became extinct. Now he is not there, right? So he was there till around 20,000 years ago. So the height of this man was around 180 centimeters, and see the cranial capacity here, 1600 cc. So much increased, that is, he was so skillful. Large skull. Now the forehead, if you see, initially the forehead was slanting like the today's apes what we have, but here he had developed a rounded forehead just like the modern man what you can see. Then there was a broad face and thin eyebrow ridges, children. It was not protruding, and they had narrow nose, right? So in the previous ones, apes, you could see they had a large protruding eyebrows along with the protruding jaws, and there was no chin, but here they had a distinct chin. They lived in the caves, children, with their families. Okay, so now they started leading a family life. They also made excellent tools, and also ornaments were made with the ivory, different stones also, not only of stones, even from bones and elephant tusks also. Then tools were also made. Okay, weapons were made. Then they started using animal hides, that is the leather of the animals. As they hunted the animals, the leather was used to protect their bodies. Then, as I told you, they hunted the animals, so they made weapons using that. That is, like spears were made, bows and arrows were made. Okay. Then they also were good painters. Because we have the fossils of those paintings, the records of the paintings has been obtained in the caves and all. Cave paintings were made by these men. So in different parts of India as well as in different countries. Okay. Then here these also children, as the previous men you studied, they also buried their dead bodies according to their customs, making certain ceremonies. Okay. Then next one you have the Homo sapiens, that is the modern man, the present day modern man what we have. So it is thought that the Cro-Magnon man was the direct ancestor of the living modern man. Further evolution of the man after Cro-Magnon involves the evolution of culture, because they are almost similar in structure when you see the Cro-Magnon man and the modern day man. So the main changes what we can see is that there was evolution in their culture. They were more cultured and civilized rather than their structural changes. Okay, so they lived around 75 to 10,000 years ago. That is, from there they arose. We can't say they lived, because today also we are living the modern man, right? So they arose during that period, and we can see the cave arts of that man during which were developed about 18,000 years ago. Okay, so such cave paintings are seen in different parts of India also. That is, so we can say they started in the Holocene epoch, right? So structural changes, as I told you, there was no much structural changes, but there was a slight reduction in their cranial capacity. The average cranial capacity here, it was 14,450 cc, right? So it is believed that the man of today, he first appeared in the region of Caspian, the Mediterranean seas. Then he migrated to different parts of the world. Then agriculture developed, students, around 10,000 years back, and the human beings started settling in different parts, right? So the rest things, as I told you, this includes all the present day human beings. The rest, everything, how from the way back, that is back around 75,000 years till today, till this day, how the human beings have been civilized, how their culture has evolved. So everything is nothing but a history, right? So whatever happened, it is nothing but a human history of growth and civilization, whatever all that you know, right? So this is about the evolution. Studying history is a very boring part for many of them, but this is the history of man, right? Our history, our past. So it should be interesting. So you should be curious to know many things about ourselves. I have made a small attempt to make this history of our past, interesting for you all. Hope you have understood the concepts. So try to make your own notes, children. Study well, and in the next video I'll be just discussing some of the important questions for the exam point of view, and also we'll have a quick revision of the chapter with some tricks to remember some of the important concepts in the chapter. Okay, so thank you very much. Hope it was helpful for you all. Thank you once again.